Everyone, our news empress.
Hi, Karen.
Gang of four in here. Don't come in here, Karen. It's dangerous.
Betty.
There are some cool pastries, but go around if you want to.
They're not just pastries; they're miniature pies. I saw them.
And it is fabulous
with lattice crusts.
Okay, quick plug, Lisa.
The Miss Williams at Williams Confectionery Crafts over there on Topper Wine in the Brentwood Plaza. She will make you anything from scratch. They have the best lunch. They have yummy.
Quick.
What?
Quick.
What? Just go there and eat. It's fabulous.
It's Karen's turn.
All right, Karen, have you ever, when you stay at a hotel, they give you those little shampoos and soaps, and no matter how little of it you use, the next day there's another bar of soap.
That's right.
What happens to all that soap?
Oh no.
Ever wonder?
No, what do they do?
I've always
They
wondered.
put it in a bag.
Do they throw it away? Do
I've never cared.
people who well, Ken, then you should listen to this show.
Uh-oh.
The Global Soap Project. A Ugandan American named Derek Kayongo started the Global Soap Project. He has deals with the major hotel chains, gathers up the soap, recycles it, and then they give away soap in impoverished nations like
the
Haiti
Ivory
and
Coast.
Kenya. Ivory Coast, very good. So that's where it goes.
Well, that's impressive.
So now, when you are taking the soap, you should feel really guilty. Because not only are you taking soap you don't need,
I don't
but
use
you're
the soap in
depriving.
hotels. I bring my own soap.
Well, see, Ken, you're part of the problem.
The soap that they
Thanks to
open
you,
is
some
really
guys'
nice.
pits stink.
No,
He
Congo.
smells minty fresh.
no. The soap is there. I guess it can't be recycled if it hasn't been opened. Is that what
Yeah,
you're saying?
use the soap, Ken.
But it's always some flowery, crappy,
Oh,
stupid
the
soap.
Hilton soap is
But you know
great.
what's cool when you're at a big conference like I was at?
Where did you
Everybody
stay?
smells the same. We all smell the same. Our hair all smells
You know,
the same.
I have
Yeah.
since I was a child. I've used Dial, and it's always Dial.
No way, really?
Aren't you glad you used Dial? Don't you wish
wish
everybody did?
I think we played the show open in there somewhere. But anyway, 11:12 on News Talk 550 KTSA. Lisa Hunt
Yes, sir.
and Kathy Meyers and Ken Slavin on Gang of Four today. By the way, another use for those hotel soaps and shampoos, donate them to Operation Interdependence. You can go to our
Well, you could take the whole
KTSA.com
one.
site.
Yeah, all right, that's a good
and
idea.
see that. Can I just finish the?
Jack, I'm sorry.
It's not his show.
They're so eager to go. Look, as soon as I'm finished with this, you guys can take over.
No.
I'm fine. I just wanted to mention that we're still accepting donated items for Operation Interdependence, and it's among the many things we're looking for are those sample sizes of soaps and shampoos, and we have the list of suggested items and the drop-off locations. Go to ktsa.com and
Okay.
keyword
How-
Operation.
How often do they go out? How often do you make the
It's,
shipments?
Well, Operation Interdependence is doing it all the time, but we're gathering items now through July 4th at the locations you can find on the site. And it's brought to you by Window World, Simply the Best for Less, and Pecos Fence Company and News Talk 550 KTSA. All right, back to the game.
What are we going to talk about now?
You have any more points to make about soap?
No soap.
I'm sorry. You're the one who made the points about the soap.
So, all right, we were talking about Barack Obama looks like a strong candidate for re-election just because history is sort of on his side. Rick Perry.
I
Really?
think late night television needs Rick Perry.
You think? Now he'd be a gold mine for Conan.
He'd be fine.
Yeah, he'd keep Conan on for years. Rick Perry flirting with the idea, thinking about being encouraged by others to run for president. I don't know. I feel like I'm in a dream I can't wake up from here. Or maybe it's a
Thank
nightmare.
goodness that you said
Palin
that.
Perry.
Great idea. Dumb and Dumber.
Well, no, that would result in a fait accompli.
Obama
for
can start
Obama.
printing the inauguration invitations
Absolutely.
right now. Is Perry as strong though nationwide as people are saying he would be?
Well, people don't know him other places. It's like, for the past year, I think I've heard him utter maybe 3 words. He has a way of not being out there talking where we can hear him.
Is it possible, though, Lisa, and I agree with you, but is it possible that every politician appears that way to the people in his state? That, in other words,
No.
The person you're always seeing on the TV screen and always hearing, you think he's a putz, but to the other 49 states, he's a fresh face. I like what he's saying. He
Well, Carter
made some
and
comments
Clinton
on the
proved that.
interview. You know, I mean, they're all new. It's a clean slate for those
Yeah,
people.
well, Clinton's a
even
smart
Obama for
guy.
that matter, because
You know,
Well, I was thinking governor.
Rick Perry's not. I don't think that he's sharp enough to be able to have that wit about him.
I don't know if you saw the Republican debate, but it's not going to take a lot of smarts.
Oh, I understand that. No, I'm
in
so
that
glad you
field.
said
It's not
that.
that was not a Mensa convention, Lisa. that we
No,
were
it
watching.
sure
Well,
was
and I don't
not.
think Perry has a political machine behind him. Bush had prior Bush ammunition to go into a national election with, and Perry doesn't have the resources in the arsenal to. Is Karl Rove out there with him now?
No.
Scary Carl.
I don't think Karl Rove.
No, but I'm
would
saying
support Perry.
I'm saying just at that time that was a real strength for the Bush campaign, obviously.
But I don't think Perry's got it yet unless the Republicans want him.
But is Perry completely hated in this state? It seems.
No, you have 54% approval rating.
I mean, I
don't think it- I
think
don't
his
think
stance
it's-
on the border is excellent. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, Lisa, despite what you're saying, and I do agree with you on some levels, these kinds of things can come down to a single impression. He could have one moment, think about it, in a debate where he fires off a good comeback or a one-liner.
like Ann Richards did with the golden.
Ann Richards.
No, not Ann Richards.
It
yeah.
could, but,
Yeah, but I mean, that golden
but you
foot in
can
the-
you can be that person with just the thinnest veneer of a good comeback or a good interview or a good
That's possible.
soundbite.
That's possible.
That's where our politics are heading. We're heading toward
I don't think he'll be the pick.
toward
Soundbites.
those. Well, not even sound bites, but like impressions. If you can make a general impression, like what if you were just known as the tough on the border guy? Hey, we're not going to dig too deep and find out that that's more talk and you didn't really do it.
No new
you just have
taxes.
you're the no new taxes guy, or you're the I'm going to get Bin Laden guy, or whatever it is.
Change and hope.
There he
It
is.
doesn't take much. It doesn't take
There he
much.
is now.
There he
All right,
is.
this week the state senate on a party line vote passed the so-called sanctuary cities bill. And one of the things that was argued about was this provision that will allow local police, like the SAPD, to inquire about the immigration status of somebody they detain or arrest or pull over. There was an argument made, and it's been made for a long time, that if local cops start asking the immigration question, local communities will no longer trust the local cops, will no longer work with them, ergo we won't have witnesses, we won't have tips, it'll be harder to fight crime, they'll be in more danger. Do you agree with that?
Well, my bigger concern is if you start enforcing this immigration regulation, what is it that you do with them after you find out they're here illegally?
Well, hold that thought for just a minute, because I do
Okay.
want to talk about that. Answer me just on the point of this trust with the community thing. If I'm able to check your immigration status, doesn't mean I always will,
So
but I
now
have the
you're
ability to
profiling
do it.
that illegal-
Does that mean people won't come to the door, won't volunteer their description of the car, won't call the police?
They don't
if need
anyway.
them?
I don't think that'll change how people react to the police. I think
'Cause we
Which
hear
part of the community,
Every
Jack?
police chief.
Are you talking about
every-
Are you talking about the? I mean, I've read that. Are they meaning the community at large or just the minority?
No, they're talking about.
population?
They're obviously they're talking about the Hispanic community.
But they're all. I think a lot of them are already afraid to cooperate.
It'll get worse, they say.
No, I don't think it'll
Chief
change at all,
McManus
really.
says it'll get worse. It'll be harder for the
They
top
don't.
on
They
the
just
street.
don't want to. They don't want to deal with it. It's just one more thing they have to deal. And if they do get somebody and they are illegal, then there's
So their
all
real
that
objection
paperwork.
Is not the trust thing. The
I
real
don't.
objection is
Their
to tie them
objection
up.
is that it's going to tie them up.
Okay.
Exactly.
And is that true, Kathy? Will it tie them up?
Well, what are they going to do with them if they find is there funding that we now have this holding tank where you put all the illegal immigrants?
So it'll tie them up. We
And then
won't
what do
really
we
know
do?
what to do with them. And as it is now, when we find illegal immigrants and we order them deported, we don't enforce that, which means there's a guy told me this week there's 1 million people in this country walking around with a deportation order and nothing's being done.
So they're
about
not being handed over immediately to federal authorities and.
Well, it's a catch and release program. We don't literally drive them to the border and push them over.
There
the
are
Well, no, the
federal authorities.
local authorities would not. I mean, it would become a.
No, I mean the federal government's enforcement of immigration is we can label you an illegal immigrant, but we don't do anything about it. We're not flying. You don't see plane loads of
So
illegals.
yeah, why are
So
we
that's
adding
why-
more layers to something that we don't do anyway?
So it's a pointless exercise. you
I
would
think
say,
so.
To even have them ask.
Exactly.
Does anybody worry though that we're starting to say you don't have to enforce this law, you don't have
That's
to
what
enforce
I was going
that
to say.
law?
I just think that it's opening
where do you draw that?
I
Where
think
do you-
it's
where do you
causing a
stop
domino
that?
effect. Yeah, where it's like, we don't really need to enforce the speed law because
Well, they don't enforce
they're not
that
killing
either.
it. They're not killing
But then
anyone.
you get into that whole civil
I mean,
rights thing. If you start allowing them to ask just random questions on a profile issue, then what's to prevent them from asking me questions
They
that
do.
are going to
Well, that
affect
I
my
think it should be
personal
across
They
the
do.
board. I don't think
Like,
you should
what
be.
do you ask?
If there's something that they want, then they will get to it.
But you don't have to answer it, and you're not going to get arrested because you didn't answer it. And do they have the right to remain silent and request an attorney before anything's done?
Probably.
Maybe that's where all the out-of-work attorneys need to be focusing their lobbying.
That's a good idea.
But since you're the former law enforcement, Kathy, if you were a San Antonio police officer today, right now, would your greater objection be, oh, that's just another thing, another headache for me, that's going to tie me up with paperwork, or would your greater objection be the sort of uselessness of it, that it doesn't go anywhere? Because you said you wouldn't be
It's-
worried about the community
It's
trust
both of
issue.
them. It's not separate because you're always looking at the bigger picture. What is
Well,
it that you're trying
I'm trying to solve the
accomplish?
problem, though.
Am I solving a murder? Am I solving a purse snatching? You got to get into what is the issue.
Okay, but how many
Then-
cops at any given moment are investigating a murder? I mean,
Well, in San Antonio.
It's a tiny percentage of them. Let's not.
People
it's
are
not
just
like
getting run
television.
over a
But
lot.
you never know what leads into something else. I was in a store this week, and I was just picking up something for a friend, and
And by that you mean stealing it.
well, I was trying, and two uniformed officers came in, and I thought, well, this is the most unusual place for uniformed officers to be spending their break. I wasn't really paying attention. Well, they were in there investigating a series of robberies in that area, and so I hung back just to kind of listen to the conversation, and I thought that very thing, that the chances were pretty good. The person they were visiting with was not a legal alien, was probably working illegally in
Yeah.
this place, which is why I'm not naming it. And I was thinking that very thing. Is part of their investigation to ask this person who is just providing information, are you a legal citizen? And how would that affect that investigation? They're not going to go into that. That's not what they were interested in. They were interested in, have you seen this person wandering through this neighborhood?
Do you think that one of the reasons we never really get anywhere on immigration is because both parties find the issue so convenient? It is such a great ball to kick around for Republicans and Democrats, and you saw it in this debate in the state Senate. Over dramatic. Letitia Vanderpute's doing crocodile tears and my babies. You're going to profile my babies, and one of the Democrats made every Hispanic member stand up so that you could see the human cost of Senate Bill 9. And then you listen to Republicans, and it's like there's a horde of illegal immigrants pouring across the border in chariots. I mean, what would they do without illegal immigrants? They love having this to kick around and talk about. And then when regular people discuss it, we wonder, why isn't anything commonsensical being done about this? Hey, if it's this much fun, why solve it, right? It's too convenient.
That's an interesting take.
Very good, Jack. I agree with you.
Oh, Lord.
It's a lovely smoke green.
Oh, Lord. Lisa Hunt agrees with me. Now I got to revisit.
I'm not real big on this illegal immigration myself.
Well, I'm not saying it's a problem.
I'm not
I'm saying
as
that I don't-
liberal on the issue as a lot of people think.
It is a problem. It is a problem. It isn't a problem of blaming illegal immigrants. It isn't a problem of demonizing people. It's a problem. Really, it's a problem of accountability. It's a massive failing of our federal government to enforce the sovereignty of our borders.
Well, the other thing,
which has
the other
implications
thing
for
that
us
makes you
across
wonder
the board.
is that a long time ago, when people came here from other places in the world, they wanted to be American. They wanted to assimilate. They wanted to learn the language. They wanted to be a part of this country. I think the thing that aggravates a lot of us, and it sounds like racism, is that a lot of people come here now. They have no interest in learning the language. They have no interest in paying taxes. All they care about is whatever it is that their agenda is. And I think that's the issue. I think that if more people came here, it's like you see a story about people that have been here for 40 years. They were collecting cans. They sent their kids to MIT. I mean, what a great story that is. But every story isn't like that. And when you hear the personal stories, it makes it different.